Hi, this is Wicked Signal, and today's video on NetApp Incorporated was recorded on Sunday, November 29th, 2020. A little bit about NetApp, symbol NTAP. In case you're not familiar with it, it produces storage devices for networks, and you can see on that chart that I showed you, it had its own .com bubble under the name then of Network Appliance. It's reconfigured itself into a hybrid cloud company during the 2010s, and it now competes with the likes of IBM and EMC. I'm going to show you a meaningful buy signal that played out last week, so it's a brand new buy signal in just a moment. But before I do that, just a little bit about Wicked Signal. I just need to tout my website. Need you to get the word out if you would. Have your trader friends, your investment friends, go to the free subscription link at the top of the website. Fill in their first, last name, their email address, of course. They'll get a single video that is produced. I'm trying to get to one a day. This is a free service. I don't hit you over the head with all kinds of sales pitches in your inbox and email and so forth and so on. And I do not share your information with anyone outside the organization. So there's that. Now let's jump into the charts on NetApp, or NTAP. I'm looking at a chart here, goes all the way back to November of 1995. In the year 2000, it got to 152.75 as a high, fell back a couple years later to $5.18 in 2002, and since then has been meandering in a relatively up fashion. The 88.08 was the October high following that 2002 low. The October 2018 high, I should say, was 88.08, and over the last couple of years has been in a bear market until recently. I think the tide has turned on this stock. I will back up a little bit. I always like looking at what might have held at one point or another. And lo and behold, you have a 10-year channel bottom that held in March of this year, 2020. The channel bottom was at 35.46 at the time, and the stock dropped to a low of 34.66. So it slipped through it by less than $1 before rallying later that month, trading sideways for the most part over the last 6 or 8 months. And then in the last few weeks has been on a nice run to the upside. I'm going to give you this long-term channel bottom while I'm looking at this chart. I might as well, in the event that this stock falls apart, which I am not expecting because of the buy signal I'm going to show you in a moment. But if it does, 38.14 December of this year, up to 39.33 by April of 21. You can subtract those out, divide by 4, and you'll have the rate of ascent. You'll have the exact location of that channel bottom each and every month in between. That is a base of long-term support. You know, as we dropped to it last March, that is sort of a bottom pick. Two ways, obviously, to buy a stock. You're either buying weakness, which would have been the case last March at that low, or you buy on strength when you've got a signal for follow-through upside activity, which we received last week. I'm going to show you that, in just a moment. We do have that late November buy signal with the, closing above a formation that you can see on the monthly chart. I'm not labeling it because I really want to expand this chart out into the last several years. You can see this basic extreme channel top that we settled above last week, and inside of that channel formation sits another intermediate channel. So you have two channel formations that the market settled above for the first time last week, and that's the week of Monday, November 23rd. We settled above it. You can see the exact locations of this channel formation. I'm giving you 4 weeks apart, opening the chart up a little bit to cover the last 2 years only. And 51.67 to 51.94, those two channel formations, the week of Monday, November 30th, dropping to 50.48 to 50.68 the week of Monday, December 28th. And you can once again subtract those out, divide by 4, and you'll have the exact location of those formations each and every week in between. This is bottom picking territory, very near term. This is a very new, very recent buy signal. There is a school of thought to let the market play out for one more week to see if we settle higher, to see if we don't fall back below and close back below this area. But I think you can at least scale into a long position here, where you're obviously there's more than one way to do this. and there's no right way to do it. It comes down to your sort of trading psychology, your trade execution style, your risk management parameters. You can put a resting bid in the $51 and change area, wherever that might be. You might buy market on open on Monday if we open higher than the 53.26 settlement last Friday. You could look at a daily chart. There's a number of ways to do this, but the bottom line here is to get long or be long above 51.67 this week, because I'm anticipating higher price activity over the next few months or less into the mid-60s, which I'll show you in a moment. And quite honestly, this channel structure, 2.5 years long or so, having settled above it, could result in outright complete recovery back to that 88.08 high from 2018 that I showed you a moment ago. That's actually on this chart. And there's the price target here. I think this is realistic. I think holding above 51.67. We've got 63.92 as a series of highs in late 2018. The actual spike high was 65.38. That week, the market settled negative following the preceding week. So that was your that was your sell signal. I mean, there were other classics on the way down that resulted in a test of that long-term support in the mid-30s I showed you at the top of this video. But I'm just going to leave this slide and have you see that holding above 51.67, we've got about a 20% price gain that I'm expecting. That could be 3 to 5 weeks, could be 2 to 3 months, but somewhere in there, I am expecting bullish continuation into that 63.92 to 65.38 area where you could take some profits anyway. But honestly, this could be a buy and hold long term, so long as we continue trading above this 51 and change channel formation. I may reshoot or update you on this stock if it continues moving in the direction that I expect it to in the coming weeks, just to update you on what new support will be. Let's take a look at what if I'm wrong. In other words, what if at the end of this coming week, November 30th, the market settles below 51.67 or below this formation any time out into late December, which you can see noted. Then I think at least 42.99 to 44.01, depending on the timing of that, would be expected within a matter of 3 to 5 weeks. And while we're at it, we might as well say that we could, over the following several months, retest that long-term channel bottom that I showed you a moment ago in the 38.14 to 39.33 area. So closing below, I'm just going to use this week. If we close this week back below 51.67, that would allow another test of that long-term channel bottom, I'm going to say over the next few months or less, of 38.14 to 39.33. So good reason to get out of this trade if you bought it, and if we close then the week back below 51.67. I don't know if there's really anything else to say about this stock. This is kind of a short and sweet video, but I'll just leave you with this. Holding above 51.67, we have a fresh mid to long-term buy signal. This after having tested long-term support in March of this year in the mid-30s. So we have a signal on strength, and I think the mid-60s should be expected at the very least over the next few months. And I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the year or the next couple of years we actually retest that 88.08 high from 2018. And that is really all that needs to be said for this particular Wicked Signal video on NetApp.